Hey guys, Coach Jen T here, today coming at you with a video about Macros 101. If the question comes up, what is macro tracking and how can it work for me? So what macros are your proteins, your carbohydrates, and your fats. And those all together would make up the number of calories that you're taking in per day. So your protein and your carbohydrates are 4 calories per gram, and your fats are 9 calories per gram. And when you're trying to build lean muscle or burn body fat, one effective way to get to your goal and make things very realistic is to track your macronutrients. The way you can do this without tracking is to basically try to eat as many whole foods as you can, with half your plates being vegetables to keep it simple, and a quarter of your plate or a palm size of protein coming from a whole food source. And then you want to make sure that you're getting a healthy starch, or we would call it a smart carb, for another quarter of your plate, and then just a dash of fat, whether you're cooking with it or adding it to the side. So that's pretty simple. But what tracking your actual intake of food and tracking your calories and your macronutrients can do for you is really make sure that you're fueling your body to match your goal. So if your goal is to lose weight, slim down, get a slimmer waistline, whatever it might be, or have more energy, you want to make sure that you're eating a balance of those macronutrients. So what tracking does is tracking your protein, carbohydrates, and fats will really help you see where you're getting your food from. This will allow you to bring awareness to what you're taking in. You might say, oh, wow, this is one of the first things my clients tell me, wow, I am not getting enough protein. So they amp up that protein each day. They start feeling more satisfied. They're having more vegetables. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I am not craving this or that as much anymore. I feel really good. It's easier to turn away the sugar when you truly don't feel like it's worth it or you don't want it. And not only that, but it really is an eye-opener for how quickly some of the things you might be eating on a regular basis adds up as far as your portion sizes. So macro tracking and tracking your nutrition that way, which is the way that I coach, is really just one of the gazillion ways to manage your weight, to lose weight, to reach your goals. And I just wanted to share it with you because for a lot of my clients, it's just truly eye-opening, and it's wonderful because you're able to meet yourself where you're at and it stays super realistic. So that's how it can help you lose weight. It brings awareness, which is all it is, judgment-free awareness for you and for your coach to guide you along based on your goals, your body type, your activity level. So that's the way that you can kind of start moving the needle and keeping things super realistic, feeling good, making progress each week. And so that is how the macro tracking way can really help you stay on track, reach your goals. And again, it's not something that's for everyone, but it's proven to be so effective for not only my clients or people that in general that just start bringing that awareness and making those small tweaks. So the whole reason that it can be so important is to help build those healthy habits. So I always recommend that you focus on tracking your macronutrients, focusing on little steps. So number one would be to focus on your protein. If that's the number one thing that you focus on when you start tracking, is making sure that you're getting enough protein, making sure you're meeting yourself where you're at and dividing your protein target out evenly through the day, you're going to start to immediately notice a lot of changes in your body. That's the number one thing that people notice the most, is they're just not getting enough protein. Number two is to focus on your fiber targets. Fiber coming from whole foods, things like fruits and lots of vegetables, whole grains. By reaching your fiber targets, your getting more whole foods is telling us you're adding more fruits and vegetables, therefore providing your body with so many vitamins and minerals to help heal and fuel your body from the inside out, reducing inflammation, and that fiber helps keep you full for longer because it digests slower. So you're just going to notice you're feeling more satisfied between meals and not hungry. In addition to the protein that's going to help boost your metabolism, it's going to help burn body fat. And again, it's another slowly digesting, so it's going to preserve muscle, burn body fat, and also keep you full and satisfied for a long time. The next thing you want to focus on, number 3, would be to focus on your calorie budget. Let carbohydrates and fats kind of fall where they fall for the most part, but as long as you're kind of getting closer and closer to your protein goal and you're doing great with hitting your fiber, it's not going to happen overnight, but that's where you can really focus on getting to your goal in a realistic way. So when I say getting proteins, I mean adding things to your diet like meat, low-fat dairy, fish, seafood, even if you have to supplement with a protein powder, or I have a whole list of vegan options too, but things like beans and lentils, those are more of a carb source, but they do have some protein. And also, believe it or not, a lot of different vegetables have higher amounts of protein in them. So getting more veggies into your diet will naturally let you get closer and closer inching to that protein target. And then we talk about carbs. That's the other macronutrient. That would come from things like veggies. Yes, carbs. Veggies are carbs. From fruits, from whole grains, things like rice, potatoes. And also, the reason that carbs are so easy to overeat, and because sometimes they get a bad rep, is because carbs are loaded in packaged processed foods such as bags of chips and packages of crackers and cookies and sweets and desserts. So you'll notice if you're tracking that you're just seeing how many carbohydrates are in those packaged foods, but you're also going to notice by adding in carbs that are getting you closer to your fiber goal, you're going to stay full. And then fats, a little bit of fats goes a long way. As I said, fats are 9 calories per gram versus the 4 for carbs, 4 for protein. So fats really add up quickly. Fats are amazing for you. You need them in your body for so many reasons, including to lose body fat and to regulate your hormones. So fats would be things like nuts, seeds, and oils. So those are more of, or avocado, those are a more whole food, minimally processed. But again, back to what I said about carbs, fats are easy to consume too when you're getting them from highly processed packaged foods. So when you're looking at the big picture, by eating more whole foods, it is going to allow you to naturally decrease your calories without counting, because you're going to stay full with more volume of food, of whole foods, to fuel your body from the inside out, to fill those nutritional gaps, and allow you to eat fewer calories naturally. That being said, a diet that won't bend will eventually break. So you want to make sure you're giving yourself that flexibility, and that's where tracking macros can come in, because we want to make sure we're hitting your protein. We want to make sure that you're hitting your fiber and staying within your calories. But guess what? We also want to make sure that you can go out with your family to dinner and enjoy like a piece of cake, or you can go out with the girls and have wine and enjoy that. We want to make sure if you love ice cream in the evenings, we want to make sure that you can make that fit. We always try to focus on that 80-20 rule. So 80% of your nutrients and your goals coming from whole foods, but give yourself about 20% each day or of your entire week to just kind of relax a little bit and enjoy what you love. You've got to have those treats to make it sustainable, and you can make them fit as long as you're reaching your protein, adding plenty of whole foods, and doing the best you can. So it's crazy how little people think that they are allowed to eat. And sometimes they set that line in the sand, like they're like, I can't go over here. Or that means I went way over and go in screw it mode, eat all the food, and you just go way, way over. When you have realistic targets to work with, you can enjoy those things in moderation and still reach your goals. People can't believe it. Oh my gosh, like I can still enjoy going out on a weekend or having a pizza night with my family and still reach my goal, because you're learning how to piece those meals together by tracking and staying consistent. So this works for people that have the positive, little bit better mindset, that are kind to themselves and not dwelling on perfection. You do want to be careful if you have a history of eating disorders or obsessed about food. You want to make sure that you are keeping a very relaxed mindset to this, because it's not black or white, or it's not good or bad, or it's not all or nothing. It's very flexible, and it allows you to just pay attention to yourself, and it can help actually create a healthy relationship with food, because you're just realizing, wow, like I always thought this food that I love is like evil, but maybe it's not as evil as I thought if I can find a way to balance it in, as long as I don't have intolerances, or, the doctor gave me instructions to stay away from it. That kind of stuff is allowed to be in your diet, and it just creates more of a feeling like I have control over my life, over my health, and I have control of what I'm taking in, and giving myself that flexibility. So you might ask, how long do I need to track if I decide that I'm going to start tracking? Well, it depends. Some people do a tracking for, 4 weeks and feel like they have a good handle on it to go forward on their own. I honestly think that about 12 weeks or 3 months of consistent tracking gives you enough time to learn how to piece those meals together. And you're going to eventually learn, like, oh yeah, this is a great breakfast. This is like how much protein I need in my breakfast. It's a third of my target. I'm getting there well. I know that I need this much food for lunch, and I know that I'm piecing fresh foods with lots of protein. And then I know that I have, flexibility to have an ice cream bar after like a dessert after dinner, or that I have a glass of wine on a Saturday. And you just know that those are the things that work for you. And it takes about 3 months to really understand where your food is coming from, how to build those habits, and just continue to reach your goals. So, and then that being said, some people like tracking most of the time, especially if you're either an athlete or you have a pretty time restricted goal that you have. Tracking long-term can just help you continue to stay accountable, to make those choices. Even if you take a day off or 2 from tracking a week, you're still overall doing more consistently than if you weren't tracking at all. So it truly depends, and it depends on, the personal preference and what you feel that you have a handle on after 12 weeks. And how to get started with this? Well, you can use a free app like MyFitnessPal or Macros First. My program, I use Macros First. It's a free app. There's no cost to use it. But MyFitnessPal also has a free version. So downloading an app like that and just playing with it, practicing with it, and tracking your food, it allows you to see where you're at. And I highly recommend to meet yourself where you're at and not try to hit your goals immediately or try to hit your targets immediately. So again, we focused earlier on those things to focus on in the beginning, like number 1, protein, 2, fiber, 3, calories. That's a good place to meet where you're at. Those calculators that MyFitnessPal and Macros First uses are decent. But another way to get started is finding a coach that can help you based on your body composition, your history of dieting, your goals, your activity level, to figure out exactly where you should be estimated to be, just to get you on the right track closer. because a lot of the apps that have like macro calculators might not be super accurate. So just that's something to pay attention to. And the other number one thing when you get started, you guys, is to enter it judgment-free of yourself. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel bad about not being perfect. This is all about being flexible and developing habits a little bit better one day at a time. And that's how you just get results that are sustainable. You're not going on this super cut of calories to like lose a whole bunch of weight and then guess what? Gain it all back because you didn't establish those healthy habits. You're going to just meet yourself where you're at, track what you're eating, take a look at your total calories, your total protein, carbohydrates, and fat, and then just start tweaking it from there and then seeing what foods to continue to add in, not take away, to keep you feeling full and satisfied. So that is it. That's a little bit of macro tracking 101. Whether it works for you or not, that's up to you. But if you are interested in learning more, to have a coach guide you along, I have a brand new, a few spaces left in my brand new program. It's 12 weeks long and it starts actually on Monday. And basically we jump you on into getting a client consultation form, learning more about your body composition, your goals, your current lifestyle, your preferences on food, and then seeing where to get started for you and keeping you, what's super powerful, keeping you accountable for making those better decisions. Everything's online, so there's no time specific for being there, 24-hour support within my coaching app. So again, if you're interested, you can see a link pinned to the group where you can sign up for that. Or send me a message if you have any other questions or if you want to chat about what your goals are and if this is something that actually would work for you. I hope you guys have a good day and enjoy the rest of your week.